Imagine if you have a mind that is astoundingly bright, that your intelligence is beyond all limits of human understanding.
I am the smartest man alive!
The world is yours for the taking, and you have the capacity to take information quickly and easily.
How would your life be?
Would this be the ultimate power to solve all your problems and the problems of the people you love?
Ultimate power.
Would you be rich, driving supercars and having the perfect life? Would you be granted the ability to invent and create things that no other human can, pushing the boundaries of knowledge and innovation?
Well, maybe.
But what if I told you that this remarkable gift of intelligence
Could become a hidden curse so soon that you have nothing but regrets.
It's not a curse.
A devastating curse that rips apart the life of the world's brightest mind. Well, now, that's a tragedy.
In today's video, I will let you know on a man's life, the smartest man who ever lived, who has the IQ estimated to be 300, surpassing geniuses like Albert Einstein. Keep in mind that the average person IQ is in between 85 and 115. But before diving into that, have you clicked on the like and subscribe button? If not, please do.
William James Sidis is a name that stands out in the archives of great minds, since it is clouded by both brilliant accomplishments and tragic losses. William was the son of Boris Sidis, a well-known psychologist, and Sarah Sidis, a physician and a scholar in her own right. Both Boris and Sarah Sidis were immigrants from Ukraine who belonged to the Jewish faith and were exceptionally intelligent. Since they were being persecuted for their political and religious beliefs in Ukraine, so they chose to start a new life in New York City. After some time, William Sidis was born to both of them in New York City on April 1st, 1898. Little did this family know that the life's path of young William would take an unusual twist within the extraordinary household. It all started when William's parents decided to keep him out of school. Instead, they chose to devote themselves to develop the intelligence of William in the comfort of their own home.
William's formal education started almost as soon as he arrived on this planet. His mom decided to give up her career as a physician so that she could better shape their boy into the image they wanted him to be.
They spent their life savings on their son, purchasing books, tools, and every other item that would help them be a better role model for him. Within a few short months, William was able to learn to recognize and correctly pronounce the letters of the alphabet, thanks to Boris, his father, and his cutting-edge psychological tactics.
He began using words like doors at 6 months. He had even developed manual dexterity enough for him to use the spoon by himself.
His parents were proud of him,
but they were probably even more proud by the fact that his father's methods in instructing his son were successful, as seen as the frequent publications of their scholarly papers demonstrating their achievement.
From the very beginning, it was clear that William would never be a typical youngster.
He was only 2 years old when it was discovered that he was reading the New York Times, which astounded everyone who could observe his extraordinary abilities.
Meanwhile, William's intellectual capabilities went well beyond the scope of simple reading comprehension.
He quickly mastered various languages, including German, Russian, French, Greek, Latin, and Hebrew, which fascinated everyone who came into contact with him. Because of the depth of his mind and his intellectual curiosity, he even went so far as to develop his own language.
In the year 1910, on a brisk January evening in Boston, hundreds of people gathered to listen to the young prodigy William Sidis deliver his first public speech on the topic of fourth-dimensional bodies, and the fact that the majority of the crowd did not understand his remarks became a topic of discussion in the national press.
And this is where it got really interesting for young William.
William had just turned 11 years old when he set out on a quest that would further establish his position in history. He became the youngest student ever to be admitted to Harvard University, making him an academic prodigy in a community of elder scholars when he enrolled there.
He was not satisfied by merely being a student, so he assumed the position of a teacher and shared his exceptional knowledge with pupils who were even older than him.
William received his graduation certificate from Harvard when he was only 16 years old, a stunning accomplishment that catapulted him in the arena of renowned intellectuals. Despite his remarkable intelligence, William's life was plagued by an inner struggle throughout his existence. Although his intellect reached previously unfathomable height, his feelings and social abilities remained undeveloped throughout his life.
Because his mind is a genius, but his emotional and social abilities are only 16. This difference tormented him, and he longed for a connection with the world that seemed beyond his reach.
Love, a complex and diverse emotion, sadly led William to a dangerous situation. He fell in love with someone who didn't meet society's standards, which caused a lot of controversy and resulted in his detention at some point. As a consequence, he was sentenced to 18 months in prison.
The weight of William's genius became an increasingly difficult responsibility at this point. As a result, William turned to writing to express his idea and thoughts. Throughout his troubled life, since it provided him with an outlet.
Despite his exceptional intellect, his publications could not create a significant and long-lasting impression on humankind. In a peculiar turn of events, he repeatedly altered his identity, preferring anonymity over celebrity and acting as though he was doing so on purpose to obscure his legacy.
So all his books were created by fake names to hide his identity. And suddenly, William's world was shattered when a female journalist lied and tricked him in 1937 when he was 39, because he was under the impression that their conversation would be kept private.
He disclosed private information about his life, yet these disclosures were later published in a scholarly study. This treachery utterly destroyed him, and it caused him to become resentful and isolated.
William sued the responsible corporation in court in an effort to get justice, but he was ultimately unsuccessful, and his isolation worsened as a result. The years that followed were characterized by solitary confinement and isolation.
William James Sidis passed away in 1944 when he was found unconscious in his small Boston boarding house, where he had suffered a massive stroke at the age of 46 years old, living a life beyond explanation.
The story of William is both inspiring and heartbreaking. It tells of a mind that is unparalleled in its intellectual capability, but is dogged by an inability to interact with the outside world on a more profound level. He served as a reminder that the price of having high intelligence might be a significant one to pay, and he stood as a testament to the delicate balance that must exist between brilliance and humanity.
Today, we are left to wonder about the mysterious existence of a guy who, despite his great skills, craved the serenity of a calm, lonely life, as his name has faded into silence. We are forced to question the existence of this man.